Okay, so Cinema has finished to render those 50 frames. So now we can import the sequence in After Effects. But as you may know, we don't have to import the image sequence because we've been created the project file for After Effects directly in Cinema 4D. So we've got the AEC project, which is an After Effects project, and you can directly drop this file into After Effects and it will create those folders, and in this folder I have my sequence, and if you double click on this composition it will open it. So we've got our render. It's okay. We've got those 50 frames, this 2-second animation. So I quickly render it, preview it, sorry, and as you may see, I've changed a bit some of the graphical elements, but you'll be able to change them if you want, or to make your own. But this is what I got. So I made a few new elements. I made new lines based on the first one. I just changed a bit the path. I've added some simple dots, simple things like that. It's just a proof of concept, I would say, more than a final look. But this is just for you to get it. So yeah, we've got the sequence. So everything is okay. I can preview it in full, and as you may see, because we added some null with compositing tags in Cinema, we got them here, and we also got the different cameras and lights we got in Cinema. So as you may know or not, in After Effects, you see here we've got two cameras and they're activated, both of them, but After Effects only reads the camera which is on the top of the other one. So we are looking through this camera, not this one, even if it's activated. So in fact we don't need this camera, so I can delete this one, the second one, which is at the bottom. And also we've got the area lights we've been created in Cinema 4D, which is here, but we don't really need it in After Effects because we won't reproduce any shadows or any light like we did in C4D. So I can also delete this one. So we end up with one camera, our three new and image sequence. So as you may see, if I select those three new, they are very big. So it's not a problem. The center point, the anchor point of those news are well positioned, so it's really on the floor. So it's okay. So now we just need maybe to scale. If I hit S on the keyboard, scale them a bit, scale them down. So something around 10 maybe. And now, if you want, you can stick some elements on those new layers. So maybe you want to add a text directly in After Effects. So if you want that, maybe you can Control T to get the text tool. Click on the composition and write something like Topology mountain, let's say. Oops, mountain. Okay. So for now the layer is in 2D, not in 3D. So I can activate this 3D button, and now the layer has gone away. It's I don't know where it is in the scene, but now let's say I want to stick this text on this null, so the bottom one. So you can click on this parent pick tool and shift at the same time. Keep the shift button and just release your left button on the mouse. So not only the layer is parented, as you see, to this null, but also it jumped to the position and the scale of the null. So it's good for us. The only thing we may need now, if I just select this layer, I can also, by the way, disconnect the parenting because I don't need anymore. I don't need it anymore. The text is already on the good position. So I can, with W, rotate on the y-axis to make it on the good orientation, and rotate 90 degrees also on the X position, so it can settle and land gently on the floor. So yeah, I think we're good. I can offset it a bit so it's not on this small mountain, and maybe let's try to I'll make it on 2 lines like this, and maybe give it a bit of air here. So now if I make a quick preview, the text should follow and stick to the floor. So it's not sliding, it's not moving, it sticks to its position. So we've made a good job. The text is okay. So it means that the anchor point, the center anchor point of the null is correctly positioned on the floor also. So yeah, I think we succeed in this. So as you get it, we've just added a simple text, but you can add whatever you want, some new graphical elements or things like that. The only thing you will maybe encounter, the issue you will encounter, is that we rendered in Cinema with the depth of field. So this text is in the sharp zone, let's say. But if you want to position some elements in the blurry zone, you have to blur them as well. So let's say I want to duplicate this text, and maybe position it on this null, which is in a blurry area. So I'll make the same thing. I shift and left click the text, and now if I want to applying the same orientation, I can do this. But yeah, as you see, oops, I think I keyframe this one. Oh no, I just put these keyframes on the null, so that's not what I want. I want to rotate the text and not the null. So I do it again. So yeah, the text is sharp and the area is blurry, so you need to add something like a Gaussian blur or something like that to make your text blurry as well. So let's say 20. So yeah, the only issue, as I said, you may have is this one, is the depth of field issue. So there are two solutions. First is this one. You can add elements and blur them directly in After Effects, or you could have render the sequence in C40 without the depth of field, and you could have had depth of field in post, like with a mask and a Gaussian blur, mimicking and faking a kind of depth of field, but that wouldn't have been so, how could I say that, so well defined as the depth of field of Cinema. So you have to keep in mind this kind of issue. So I can delete this text. So yeah, and What I did also in my final renders for my project is that I added some tiny particles to get more of a depth ID. So you can create a new solid by clicking Ctrl Y, and just be sure to make it at the comp size, no matter the color. And on this you can add, if you have it, form from drop code particular. So I double click on it, and if I solo this layer to see what I'm doing, we see that we don't see particles. So because we're in 3D space, particles are somewhere, but not in our scene now. So what you could do also for this is maybe I can check this null, no, not this one, not this one, the first one, this one. Maybe I can reposition my particles based on the position of this null. This way they will be positioned about roughly in the middle of the scene. So you can reveal by hitting P on the keyboard the position of this null, and on this layer, which are called form particles, on this layer you can go to base form, and just in the position just copy the same position as your null, so 0 and 56, so and 0 on the Y. So yeah, the particles are in the field of view, so it's good for us. Now I just want to maybe unlink this and give 10 particles on X, Y, and Z, and maybe open this these values, these parameters, and maybe give it some opacity render and size random. Maybe scale them down to about 0.5 or let's say 1 for the moment, so we can see them. And yeah, there's a lot of particles, so maybe I can lower the number by 5 by 5 by 5, let's say, hit render, and yeah, that adds a bit of particles in it. You can also add some motion blur on this because the camera is rotating, so maybe some of them will get more blurry with the movement, and maybe I want to be very small, so let's say 0.6 or something like this. Maybe add a bit of feather to make them more soft and not so sharp. And you can of course also play with the size of your particles, the size of the whole particle box grid, and maybe I need to have a better understanding of what I'm doing. I keep adding some more and bringing the scale a bit up so I can clearly see what I'm doing. Okay, so let's say I want not so much on Y, but I want them to be on a larger area. And finally, you can also go to the disperse, just to keep it simple, and just disperse a bit with a value around 100, 200 or so, and just disperse a bit those particles. So yeah, this is small, this is tiny, but this will add some depth, some nice looking to your scene. Yeah, so we've got a layer of text, we've got our particles. Now we can also make a little color adjustment if you need it. So I can click on layer, new adjustment layer, and maybe you want a bit of a good old vignetting. So for this, I would recommend to use your Lumetri color. So I go to the last one here, vignette, and bring the amount down. So we got a bit of vignetting. Okay, great. You can also, if you want, just color correct or with a bit of level if you want the scene to be a bit brighter, or it's really as you want it. Okay, and maybe if you also got looks, magic bullet looks, you can try to find a better color correction look. But yeah, that's pretty all I did in my project. I just color correct a bit with levels and curves, and just add some tiny elements. So yeah, I think we got pretty everything. Um, what should I what should I say more? Maybe try some different fusion modes. So yeah, I think we're pretty there. So as you may know, um, you can really take advantage of those scenes in C40 and render different camera angles, or things like, or making some different things with different noises and lines. And this way you'll got few sequences, and you can edit them and make a cool video with it. So yeah, this is the basics, but you got it. You get the core of the effect, this noise and these lines. Now you know how to position elements and reposition elements lately in After Effects. So yeah, I think you got everything. Hope you enjoyed this, and don't hesitate if you have any issue or questions. Let me know. I give you my mail, so you can ask some questions if you have some problem. It's okay. That would be cool. So goodbye, guys.